Hello, and welcome to Rethinking Our History, where we seek to shed a light on events that have been forgotten and covered up, and to make us all question how much do we really know about our history? I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian, and we are here to reveal all the sordid details of history that have been swept under the rug. Get ready to get angry, be curious, and maybe have a laugh or two as we rethink our history.
Hello, friends.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining us for another lesson, number 9.
Historical.
Historical lesson. This one's really cool. I think you're going to enjoy this one.
That's real historical, dude.
Oh my God. If you're a fan of the paranormal and found us here first, give our flagship show, The Paranormal Lovers, a listen. It's all about ghosts, aliens, cults, and conspiracies. It can be found anywhere you find this show.
Big feats.
Big feets, Bigfoots. If you would be so kind, please give us a like and a follow on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram by searching for The Paranormal Lovers in the search bar. If you or someone you know prefers video format, both of our shows can be found on YouTube by searching for the same thing. If you would like to support the show, we have a merch store at theparanormallovers.threadless.com. There we have 2 designs that the proceeds will go directly to local relief organizations for the unending recovery from Hurricane Helene.
It's going to take so long.
It's going to be forever, so we're just going to keep them up there.
Yeah.
As long as it takes.
I think my workplace has a GoFundMe,
That's
and they've
cool.
got like $200,000 already.
Nice.
And then our parent company is going to match it.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
wow,
it's pretty cool.
We also have a Patreon with one $5 tier where you get early access to unedited videos of both shows, as well as 2 stickers a month. One will be a sticker from our shop, and the other one will be a handmade sticker by Ian. Once we get up to 20 Patreons, we will start a bi-weekly family movie night where your family will sit down and watch a movie with our family.
That'd be awesome.
And lastly, if you have a personal story, whether it want to be true crime, paranormal, or historical, or you have a topic request, or you want to fight about our views, email us at theparanormallovers@yahoo.com. And I will fight you too, because I got statism, I got the PTSD, the anxiety's been kicking my ass.
She likes to fight.
I do like to fight. I don't like to fight. I like to be stimulated.
Yeah. She likes to have a good argument.
I do. I like to have a good argument. The problem is I am also very passionate, like most autistic people. And so we get very passionate about it. People think we're just like wanting to fight and be mean. We're just like, no, we're just very passionate. That's why we're crying right now.
Yeah.
All right. So this week, it's not super long, but we can probably make it work. We're going to look at a couple of men who I had never heard of until a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
We all know about the name Amelia Earhart, but probably not many know the names of James Banning and Thomas C. Allen. You ever heard of them?
No.
Some people may know them better by the moniker the Flying Hobos. You ever heard of the Flying Hobos?
Maybe.
Banning, accompanied by his engineer Allen, were the first black aviators to make a coast-to-coast flight across the U.S. James Herman Banning was born on November 5th, 1900, in Canton, Oklahoma, to parents Riley and Cora Banning. His father had received 160 acres through the Homesteading Act in 1903. They built a small schoolhouse where James was taught until he began attending Favre High School in Guthrie, Oklahoma, where he graduated in 1918. The family then moved to Ames, Iowa in 1919. James got his first taste of flying in 1920 when an aviation circus, which I kept seeing this over and over and over again, aviation circus, and I'm like, why the fuck don't we have those anymore?
We do.
We do?
Yeah, they do like flight shows and stuff.
I thought they were just like military based. I didn't realize that like still had like aviation circuses. Like I don't think these were necessarily military base. They were just like
Yeah.
people just went with their planes around and flew them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why don't we have any around here?
We do every once in a while. They do them at I want to say they do them at the Asheville airport.
Hmm.
They'll have like the aviation shows. They
I have to
fly
keep an eye on that.
they fly everything from like little small planes to big planes, to stunt planes to
Yeah.
yeah.
Although we do live like what a mile from the armory,
Yeah.
the National Guard Armory, so we get to see like Chinooks and
Yeah.
Blackhawks and all kinds of big planes
We get to see military training all the time.
all the time because obviously our mountains match the mountains of Iraq, Afghanistan, somewhere over there.
Yeah.
So,
It's Afghanistan.
um, let's see. He got his first taste of flying in 1920 when an aviation circus came to town and took attendees for a flight. But this being the early 1900s, James could not find a school that would admit him due to his race.
Hmm.
He attended Iowa State University in Ames studying electrical engineering before he dropped out to take private flying lessons from a World War I veteran, Army aviator. Sorry. um, and I want to say he could not find a flight school that would admit him due to his race.
Right.
So he had to get private lessons from a retired pilot from World War One.
Yeah.
James would own J.H. Banning Auto Repair Shop in Ames from 1922 until 1928. In 1926, he earned his pilot's license and would later get his transport pilot's license in Texas.
Hmm.
In 1929, he moved out to the West Coast where he became the head pilot at the Bessie Coleman Aero Club. And I guess Ames, Iowa was pretty good to him because he would go on to buy and fly a plane that he named Miss Ames.
Yeah. That's
Now,
cool.
if you don't know who Bessie Coleman is, I'm not surprised. Do you know who Bessie Coleman is?
No.
So she was the first black woman to get a pilot's license.
Hmm.
This organization was founded by black pilot William J. Powell. It aimed to get black people interested in aviation. And I'm sure seeing James flying in demos helped with that as well. He was also known to fly politicians during their campaigns,
That's cool.
probably primarily black politicians,
Right.
because, this is shit. This is 40 years after Lincoln did the Emancipation Proclamation,
Yeah.
but the last slave was not actually freed until 1901.
Right.
So, yeah. So, one might ask, where does the name Flying Hobos come from? Unlike their white counterparts, James and Thomas were not able to get sponsors to fund their flight. In fact, their plane, an Alexander Eagle Rock biplane, was made up of any random parts they could get a hold of.
Oh wow.
Hence why Thomas, the engineer, was along for the ride.
Right on.
Which James was a mechanic, which he wasn't like, I mean, he was a car mechanic, but like he was also into aviation. So I'm sure he was also worked on his planes too.
Sure.
As for funding, as the men took off from Los Angeles, they had $25.
Oh boy.
Which is why, although the actual flight itself was only 41 hours and 27 minutes, the whole trip took 21 days to complete.
Wow.
Each time they stopped, it would take them a few days to raise money to continue on to the next leg of their journey.
Yeah, because you got to buy fuel.
Yeah, and food, and you got to have somewhere to stay so you can sleep.
Yeah.
Hence the name Hobo. They would do so by selling people the opportunity to sign the lower left tip wingtip of their plane, which they called the Golden Book or the Gold Book. They made sure they tried to stop in places where they had friends, one, to make it easier to have a place to stay, and two, for personal safety, so they wouldn't end up somewhere where black people were not welcome.
Right.
Again, folks, this is like 1929.
Yeah.
So, at the start of their journey, they did end up going a bit off course and ended up having to make a landing in Lordsburg, New Mexico. Lordsburg, New Mexico. There, Allen ended up pawning off his flight suit for $10 to get them through the next leg of the journey.
Hmm.
Other than that, things went pretty well with people offering them lodging, food, and money. And some farmers even siphoned gas from their equipment to help fuel their plane. Is that you? Oh, it's the cat. In Pittsburgh, the men were met with the Democratic Party.
Mm.
The party offered to pay the rest of their expenses, handle their publicity, and repair their plane for the return flight if the two men would write about their experiences and drop a few pamphlets supporting Roosevelt as they flew from their plane.
Right on.
And they said, okay. So they ended up leaving the city with 15,000 pamphlets.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pamphlets.
It is a lot of pamphlets. And Thomas was like, yeah, we were real happy to get rid of them because all that extra weight.
Yep.
Once they landed.
In a biplane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you know much about biplanes, but they're like just enough to where you can get two people off the
I was
ground.
going to say it's just like the cockpit's just like a space for the pilot and the person behind them, right?
Yeah.
And there's like not a lot of space for extra stuff because you got to have
Nope.
fuel and the engine and all that shit. So,
like, it takes a long way to get them to.
It makes me wonder if they just like strapped them to the wings or something.
Like,
I don't know how they would have pulled that off.
Yeah, that's a lot of paper to stuff in the two cockpits.
Mm-hmm. And you still got to get two full-grown men in there too.
They probably had the guys get in, and then they just stacked it on top.
Stuffed it in there.
Yep.
Once they landed in New York City on October 2nd, 1932. Oh, excuse me. It's the 30s, so. Oh, excuse me. I just took my medicine, y'all. Iron tastes like bacon when you burp after you take your iron. It's so
bacon
gross.
Burps.
I not get I don't like bacon burps. It is not good when it comes back up.
No.
When they landed in New York City, the mayor, Jimmy Walker, greeted them with a key to the city. The Cotton Club in Harlem held a celebration with performances from Duke Ellington and Cab Calloway. I almost said Cab Calloway. Sadly, just 4 months after this historic flight, James was in the second seat of a travel air biplane due to the fact that he was denied the first seat because he was black. This was at an air show at Camp Kearney in San Diego. On this day, February 5th, 1933, James and Navy mechanist Albert Berghart took off and climbed up to 400 feet before the plane stalled and fell in a tailspin in front of hundreds of spectators.
Oh, no.
James was recovered from the crash and taken to the hospital where he died an hour later.
Jeez.
He was 33 years old.
Died at an air show. That sucks.
Ironically, if he had been allowed to fly the plane instead of being forced to fly with a much less experienced white pilot, he would not have died.
Sure, yeah.
But
you got to know how to fly those biplanes.
Yeah, and from what I'm
biplanes,
black biplanes, it's fine. From what I read, he went too steep in his climb.
Yeah.
And that's what caused the engine to stall out. And then they went into an uncontrollable tailspin.
Yeah, you can't.
Which, if you know anything about flying, I'm not like a pilot, but I know that when you get into a tailspin, it's damn near impossible to get out of it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get out of it real quick because if it starts going any faster, you're fucked.
Yeah, you can't really. A tailspin's kind of like you ever watch the movie Top Gun, the original one? That's what Goose got in and it killed him or whatever.
Yeah,
because he was, they call it a flat spin and fighter jet.
Yeah,
stuff,
but his and Thomas's flight would spur on other black pilots to also make the transcontinental flight, and his legacy lives on. And I was like, damn it, I wish they had it somewhere else because I don't want to go to this park. His legacy lives on at the Wings of Fame Hall at the Soaring Around the World ride at Disney Adventure in Anaheim
Mm,
There is a large picture of Banning and a plaque underneath that highlights his achievements and accomplishments.
nice.
In a
That's cool.
ceremony on June 7th, 2023, the Ames Municipal Airport was renamed James Herman Banning Ames Municipal Airport. There
Nice.
is also an interactive play called The Flying Hobos, which is often played at schools during Black History Month. And I think that it's also like some Broadway, like off Broadway places probably do it too.
That might be where I heard of it.
Probably. You probably saw it during Black History Month because, you know, around here they only want to talk about the good Black people, the
Right.
good stuff about Black people during Black History Month.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about racism or none of that.
Right.
Mm. And that is the story of the Flying Hobos.
That's cool.
Told you it wasn't super long. Sorry about that, but
Oh, you're good.
I went through like 6 or 7 different sources and it was
Yeah.
all the same stuff pretty much. So
Right.
that was pretty much his story. I mean, he was only 33 when he died.
It's interesting.
He was really young. I have a feeling if he had lived a lot longer, we'd be having a longer episode right now.
Right.
But because white people want to be a little fucking bitch,
Yeah.
you want to get your panties up in a wad because this black man can fly a damn airplane like he was born in one and make this damn. And what's fucked up, did Albert die too? I didn't even see if Albert died, the man that they made fly the plane.
Right.
Like, did he die too? Like, I'm sure he was
I don't
also
know.
like, can we put the black man up front, please? That part
I'm
made me really mad. I was like,
sure he
of
probably did
course.
too.
Of course he
But
died because of racism.
yeah.
Like that's it. And they're like, no, he died because of pilot error. Well,
Yeah.
if he had been in the pilot seat, there wouldn't have been an error.
Yeah.
So
I used to fly. I used to own this game called Pilot Wings
mm-hmm.
for the I think Super Nintendo. Might have been the 64. I think it was the Super Nintendo though. And it lets you fly like a real physics biplane. And it's real hard to keep in the air.
Yeah.
Like you kind of had to like go up and then go down and then go up and then go down. And that's how you had to fly the biplane because that was the way the physics worked on it.
Yeah.
But
I can't imagine trying to do the biplane. I went to the pilot training place in like Charlotte, I think, when I was in like middle school or something, and we got to do the flight simulator.
yeah.
Bitch, I crashed so hard. Crashed so hard.
What kind of plane was it?
It was like a Boeing something. It
Oh,
was like
okay,
a
like
passenger plane.
a 747.
Yeah, it was like a passenger plane because it was like the flight school.
Those are hard too.
Those are hard too. Even though I don't know, I was doing the research on this, and I was like, it said he was like really good at math and stuff, and I was like, I wonder if he had the tism. But also,
Maybe.
I kind of want to fly. And I've actually
Yeah.
thought about that a lot lately. I would like to get my pilot's license
It's hard, but like
to
I
like
think it
fly a
would be
chopper, a
tremendously
little
fun.
2-seater. It would be helpful too, because you know when the zombie apocalypse happens, you're gonna need somebody to fly you some to hell where else.
I flew a chopper simulator at Six Flags.
Oh,
That was kind of
yeah.
cool.
That's
Had like
terrifying.
the feet pedals and then the stick, the altitude stick.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story. Sorry it wasn't super long, but like I said, he only lived 33 years. So,
Yeah.
you know, we don't get to know a whole lot, unfortunately.
Look like some real cool dudes.
But if you guys enjoyed this, share this with all your friends and tell them to go and find us on YouTube if they prefer that.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next week for another episode. I have no idea about what. We'll figure it out later.
We'll see you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Love you guys.